Approximately 6 years, 14 weeks, 7 hours and 32 minutes ago, I had my heart broken by the woman of my dreams. This was an eye-opening experience for me. Ironic, as I'd just been pepper sprayed. What this experience made me realise is that women are unpredictable, irrational, callous even. For a man can give a woman his heart unreservedly, and the woman can simply choose to break it into 4 tiny pieces at a moment's notice, over even something so small as a political disagreement, or a skid mark on the sofa. Or 2 skid marks on the sofa. Or 3 skid marks on the sofa. However, I must confess, having just recently rolled credits on The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom at the request of Palette Swap's feminist upper management so that I might make a YouTube video out of it, my opinions have softened somewhat. So yes, hello, 'tis I, Palette Swap's own Sludge. I'm temporarily filling in for Fudge, who's currently out of commission recovering from emergency brain reduction surgery, and as anyone who's been following me for any length of time should know, I consider myself a raging misogynist. Women have spent many a millennia on God's great green earth trying to come between men and their video games, so when many of them began arguing for more diverse inclusions in them around the turn of the millennium, I could do naught but gawk at their hypocrisy. When the sequel to 2020 PlayStation classic Ghost of Tsushima was revealed to have a female protagonist, I projectile spat out my chicken nuggets straight through the very same hole I'd punched 3 years prior upon seeing female Ratchet for the first time. 12 years on, the name Anita Sarkeesian still elicits a response from me comparable to how a Vietnam War veteran would behave upon seeing a contortionist attempt to free themselves from rope. And yet, after my experience with The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and I can't believe I'm saying this, women, I'm sorry. I was not familiar with your games. Having played a video game at the wheel of a female character for the first time in my entire life, I feel that my horizons have expanded somewhat. I was dubious as to how a dainty princess like Zelda could possibly stand a chance at saving Hyrule when the kingdom's actual most capable hero, Link, was locked away in some villain's keep somewhere. But upon interfacing with Echoes of Wisdom's gameplay and systems, the power of womanly ingenuity has been made clear as day to me. I admit it, the first time I held up a piece of meat and bound myself to the echo of a bird that would perpetually chase it, therefore effectively achieving infinite flight, I thought to myself, wow, being a woman is beautiful. My ex-lover was a big fan of The Sims, so naturally I figured that spawning a water block and then using bind to drag a nearby enemy into it and drowning them would bring me naught but nostalgic sorrow. But I actually enjoyed it. In fact, I couldn't stop myself from letting out a little girlish giggle. I kinda see what all the hype's about now. This is not to say that there weren't some physical and mental roadblocks, of course. As you can surely hear, taking up the mantle of a virtual woman caused every cell in my body to rebel against me and make me physically ill. An illness that I've still not recovered from, even as I record audio for this video. The game's early dungeons, particularly this one in Jabul Waters, take things comically easy on you to an extent far beyond almost any game starring Link I can remember. You can skip about 80% of this dungeon in like 60 different ways. Ugh, I thought, yet another handout for women. And this didn't get any better when the game's various side quests and acorn collecting challenges presented all the mental stimulation of a trip to the DMV, but over time, my perspective changed. I engaged with the game design, considered the mechanics, threw on some talk-tour with Hayley Welch, and began to feel like I'd just been looking at it wrong. Certainly, some things in Echoes of Wisdom are easier than they are in other Zelda games, but many other things, many of the most fundamental things, in fact, are dramatically harder. I had gotten so used to constructing unholy abominations to wipe out my enemies that it was completely lost on me that my ability to even swing a sword in the first place was limited in this game. I had only made combat so easy for myself through trials and tribulations by employing some good old-fashioned feminine wiles, like when I realised I could just strap a sea urchin to the side of my head and become virtually indestructible. That tip's for free, ladies. There is no hookshot to cross large chasms and no iron boots to ignore water currents. You'll need to create your own solution. Boss battles, by and large, take dramatically longer here, as they have large health pools and often demand you change your strategy on the fly, which is something very rarely ever asked of Link. And therein lies Echoes of Wisdom's intersectional ethos. Many a time previously, I had dispelled the notion that women have it harder and that they have to scratch and claw to get the same opportunities as yet another feminine myth like veganism and periods. But it occurred to me while playing that Link in every game gets the sword and shield and bombs and bow, and then I'm playing as a woman for the first time and suddenly I've just got to make it on my own? Something doesn't seem right here. I used to believe that women were simply soulless harpies who played on their own vulnerability to get society to make appeasements for them, but I realise now that I was wrong. They can also spawn beds, and trampolines, and tables, and a great many other things, and all these things take the place of the tools a man like Link would usually have available to him, because it's never as simple for a woman. The opportunities are not simply there, you have to create them. To this end, Echoes of Wisdom is a beautiful exploration of what it is to be a woman in a man or giant demon pig's world. Your experiences are not lesser, they are simply different, yet still valid. Easier in some ways, yes, but harder in many others. I realise this now. And beyond this, Echoes of Wisdom taught me more so than anything else just how many ways men and women are still alike. I didn't know you guys also had to sort through your huge overflowing inventories in the form of a list in a straight line. We may have more physically tangible things to lug around with us, but they don't even give you pockets. This shit's a pain in the ass, huh? I had a thoroughly pleasant and transformative experience in The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I no longer view women as my inferiors, nor my bed as something simply to be slept in. My perspective has shifted entirely, and I've spent the days since searching for more ways to experience the world through the eyes of a woman. Many people online have suggested something called estrogen, which I haven't had the chance to do too much research on yet, but doesn't seem to list any particularly harmful side effects, so I think I'm just going to down a few packs over the coming weeks and let the experience take me by surprise, much like this one did. I'll be sure to update you in a few weeks and let you know how that's going. Until then, a hearty thanks to our legendary tier patrons: Serial Law Obeyer, Kinslow TN, Bijan Imadi, Bad Speller, Strawberry, Yo Adrian, War Crimes Uwu, and Dr. Cruiser. You can gain access to videos like this 24 hours early alongside a whole host of other benefits by signing up to our Patreon at patreon.com/PaletteSwapMag. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.